All right, Jamaine, welcome to the final bell again. Second time in 2 years,
Yeah.
um, which is which is great. You're the first person to return. How's it going, man?
Everything is great. I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm just ready to put on a show.
Yeah, you know, the last time we spoke, you were in Las Vegas. You were with Camp De Los Santos, and I
Hmm.
know you were looking for that big opportunity. You were looking for that big fight, somebody that would actually accept the challenge. And I know at the time you were thinking it was going to be someone like Shakur Stevenson, maybe Devin Haney, and it turns out it's Teofimo Lopez. Can you tell us a little bit about how that fight materialized, how it came to be?
To be honest, I don't even know how it materialized. It's just some way, somehow. I was here in Vegas. I ended up seeing Teofimo at the Benavidez and Andrade fight, and a couple weeks later, I get the call.
Wow. So you had no indication from him, right, when you guys spoke?
No, no,
Oh, that's crazy.
yeah,
Um, and next thing you know, you're fighting. It's like not only were you looking for a big opportunity, but you're fighting in Las Vegas, down the street from the Super Bowl, the same week, the Thursday before the Super Bowl.
yeah,
Well, what does this feel like? It's your first world title opportunity. What does this feel like? Does it feel like all the hard work that you've been putting in for the last, I don't know how many years, finally
yeah,
paying off?
yeah. Finally, the opportunity has presented itself. So, um, I'm I'm just excited. It's been a long time coming and finally to fight for a world title and big event, big time of the year for the United States.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You look happy, man. You look like happy, and I see that you're having a little bit of fun promoting the event too. I saw that video
yeah,
clip recently in the ring, man. That was good. Whoever's idea that was really good,
yeah.
man. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So
So
yeah, no.
how's training going for your fight against Teofimo Lopez?
Training's been going great. I'm excited to just do what I've been working on for so many weeks. So I'm excited. But everything is going good. Everything is going good. All the hard work has been done. We're a little bit just 9 days away from the fight.
Yeah.
So all the hard work has been put in already. It's all done. And now it's just putting everything together and we're in the final stretch.
Now, you guys know each other from what I can see. Guys go back to the amateurs. But do you guys ever had a friendship going on?
No,
Was there any, or like, was there anything like you guys were acquaintances? Not at all.
no, no,
So you don't.
never.
So is there kind of a rivalry, we gotta say? I mean, you guys know.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. A
Okay.
rivalry in the sense that we fought in the past and we gotta get even on that.
Yeah. What do you remember about that fight, by the way? Like, no, it's 2015, right? When you actually fought. What do you remember about that fight, if anything?
It was a competitive fight. I remember it was very competitive. I remember my coach had to fly out the night before because he had a pro fighter fighting. That's all I really remember.
And did you always envision that you guys would meet again as pros?
After like the Olympic trials and when the year everybody was turning pros, it's like, all right, all of us, the class was turning pro that same year. So I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna meet all these guys eventually down the line.
Yeah. And for
So
you and him, it's like you guys are similar age, both Latinos from the Northeast, went pro around the same time. When you look at all those stats, it's almost like, as long as you guys stayed within the same weight, which I know he moved up just a little bit before you, it was a natural.
Yeah.
what are your thoughts about Teofimo? I mean, of course you've been seeing him rise through, become world champion, all that stuff. So what are your thoughts about him?
He's a good fighter, great fighter. I think he's the best at 140 right now. And yeah, can't take nothing away from any of the guys at the top. They're world champion for a reason. Takes a lot to get there.
Is this better than, let's say, Haney or Shakur? You see this as the better fight for you?
Uh yeah, I feel
Stylistically?
like I feel like it's a harder challenge. I feel like once I beat Teofimo, I'll be the top guy.
Yeah, because it's not
compared to
even not
beating any
only
of the other guys.
right, because it's not only for the WBO title, right? This is the lineal champion, right?
Yeah, for the Ring magazine as well.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, you know, whenever we talk to people who, you know, we talk to people from the MMA world, and whenever they ask us questions about who's the best at boxing, and they're like, well, there's so many titles. I'm like, just look to see who's the Ring magazine champion. If you see who that champion is, that's the guy in the division usually, right? The only time when that guy's not is because a fight, certain, you know, just hasn't happened yet with an up and coming guy. But you know, this is it for you, man. Like you win this fight, you're the man at 140, and then of course everyone's gonna be then gunning for you, which is gonna be unfamiliar for you, right? You've always been kind of trying to hunt these guys down.
Yeah,
If you put yourself in that position, the tables turn.
yeah, for sure.
Um, Jamaine, what do you think is going to be the key difference between you and Teofimo on fight night? I mean, I'm not asking you to give away the game plan in any way, but what do you think? What do you see as like sort of the key difference between you guys?
Um, there's similarities. There's a lot more similarities, but the key difference is gonna be who stays under control. And I feel like I'm always under control.
You're going to stay more composed,
What
right?
how do you think you, let's say, what do you think are your best assets against them? What do you think you're gonna give them the most problems with as far as your style?
Um, my movement, uh,
You're kind of sizing it up right now, right?
yeah, my movement. Just I'm gonna have challenges with my speed. Um, I don't think he's really faced another fighter who's explosive, you know, who likes to punch off the foot in the sense of, you know, jump off their feet to punch like how he does. So I think it's gonna be a surprise for him when he does what he's used to doing to others is being done to him.
Now, in your last fight, you fought at 138. I believe you had a bit of a problem making weight. Am I correct here, or
Not for the last fight, no.
not for the last fight? You didn't think so?
No.
So okay, so now fighting at 140 pounds, what do you think it's gonna do for you? Like what's gonna be the difference? You're gonna, as far as trying to make that weight.
I'm gonna be a lot better, feel a lot healthier, stronger. Just I'm not gonna be so worn down from making weight. So I think it's gonna be a lot better and be stronger for sure.
So what did you take away from your fight against Moran?
Um, that fight I wasn't as active as I usually am or as I like to be. I wasn't as active, but I seen the difference between me like being a little bit more patient and having people walk into shots versus me always trying to chase somebody and pursue the shots. So I got to compare those differences.
Could have also been, you had a little bit of a time off, could that played in the factor that the fight maybe became a little tougher than you thought it would?
I wouldn't say the time off, that's what other people were saying, but maybe, who knows? But I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it was the time off.
Jamaine, switching gears a little bit, we were talking about this earlier because some news came out, and we don't believe it really. But what are your thoughts on Shakur saying that he's retiring from the sport to train people?
It's all just for the media publicity, just to get people talking, you know. When people ain't talking about him, you know, he's like, well, I'm gonna make people talk about me. How am I gonna do it? I'm gonna say this. And then I'm gonna be a trending topic and that's the goal. Let me be a trending
It's funny
topic for a
because
while.
you know Teofimo said something similar last year, right? He was like frustrated after his fight against Josh Taylor. He thought he should be getting paid more, so he's like, you know what? I'm going to retire. I'm going to start training guys and doing other things. Tyson Fury has done that in the past. He's probably done that more than anybody else. And now Shakur. But it just kind of points to the frustration that some of these guys feel. I think in Shakur's case, it's a lot of backlash, right, for his last performance against Edwin De Los Santos.
Yeah, probably that. He's been receiving a lot of bad, how to say it, been seeing a lot of bad criticism because of that. But he ain't retiring. He ain't retiring. I don't
Yeah,
know. Nobody's gonna believe that. He's not retiring. He's way too young. He's definitely gonna be fighting. He'll be fighting this year. He's gonna be like, oh, he said he retired and he's fighting this same year. He's fighting this year.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, how focused do you think that Teofimo is? He's been talking about Devin Haney. He's talking about Terrence Crawford. He's just talking about he wants those kind of fights. How focused do you think he is on you, since he hasn't really been mentioning much of you anyway?
I don't know. I'm preparing like he's focused 100% on me. I don't care what he says on the media. I know my focus is on him, and my preparation is for the best version of him, and and my eyes are locked in on him, like as if his eyes are locked in on me, even if that's not the case on his part. That's how I'm coming.
Yeah, when you look at guys just before fights, I think people sort of relax in different ways. Like you seem to be more the chill type, and I think maybe with him, it's like that's how he relaxes, right? Is he starts commotions with different fighters in social media, and it doesn't necessarily mean that he's not focused, right?
Could be, yeah. Everybody has different ways on just talking to media and just being relaxed, as you mentioned, and just being them.
Right, right,
Hey,
right. I think
Jane,
that's just more of his personality.
I got a question for you. How much do you like? I know you focus on training, and sometimes doing media stuff can be distracting, but how much do you like doing media, your media obligations? Like, is that something you like doing, or, just a question?
Frank's
So,
asking
I
you.
so,
can I can kind of
so,
sense that,
so,
bro. I've been sensing that for my last interview. I'm like, how much is this? Because I know it must be hard to just focus on a fight, and then you got to come and you got to do your obligations for the media. You know what I'm saying? And it could
yeah.
be distracting. So it was a question that I had from the very last interview that we
No,
did.
I wouldn't say it's a distraction. It's not a distraction. It's I don't know. I've never, like, since young, I never like seeked attention or anything like that. And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just a guy who wants to fight. I get it.
Yeah, I just want to fight. That's it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that this is part of the job, right? Because it's like this is how you promote yourself, and this is how, in the end, you say something controversial, and then next thing you know, people are like, "Who is this guy? I want to see him fight." Right? That's
Yeah,
just how it goes.
my uncle always says the same thing about me. He's like, "Oh, this is your career. This and that." I'm like, I didn't know this is what it came with. I didn't know this is what it came with, but we're here now. So,
But you see the
I've been
reaction
there.
you get.
Huh?
But no, you see the reaction you get though, like that promo thing you did in the ring, like that. I saw a lot of people reacting to it. You just see the impact, right, when you do something like that, or when you
No,
just
yeah,
start
yeah.
talking to people.
Yeah, it's in good in a good way. It's great.
Yeah, right.
Um, how do I say it? Yeah, it's just I started learning how to enjoy the process, love every moment of it. I know this won't last forever, so I've been leaning towards that style of thinking and just embracing the moment, being grateful for the opportunities to even do
Right.
interviews and just have people even want to ask me questions. It's because eventually when you're old and you're out the sport, you're forgotten and nobody's gonna want to talk to you at all. So I'm learning to just embrace the moment, taking it in, soak it all up, and just have fun with it and enjoy it. So that's where I'm at
Right.
now. So
Believe me,
I mean,
it
we're gonna be.
took us a
Yeah, go.
while to get to the video. We've been doing, the audio podcast for a while, and that was good. So, I understand that, being in front of the camera and having to, express yourself, it can be a little difficult, especially when it's not your kind of character.
yeah,
I can imagine it gets annoying too when everybody's asking the same question, especially around fight, like around the fight. Like, so if we were talking to you when you don't have a fight schedule, then we could go into other avenues. Like we talked about your mom's book last time and all that stuff. But when there's a fight, that, of course, people just ask the same repetitive questions, right? Which I could see, even for anybody, it would get a little tired after a while.
yeah, but I understand it's and some people get to ask it in different ways or just the more you talk about a certain question, maybe different things pop up. But also when it comes to the fight, you also don't want to give too much information. So that's where I'm a little bit more limited on that aspect of speaking because I'm
Yeah.
not.
What you want?
Yeah,
I
we
get
get.
Jamaine, switching gears a little bit, talking about other things happening in boxing. There's a lot of talk and reaction, either positive or negative, about the Saudis getting involved in boxing. And you've spent some time in Dubai, so in that part of the world. What are your thoughts in as far as the opportunities, the fights that are being made? We were looking at the schedule today, and in the next few months, you're going to have the two top heavyweights fighting each other for undisputed, the top cruiserweight against, in a rematch, basically the top two cruiserweights. And now as of today, they signed Beterbiev versus Bivol for June 1st for the undisputed light heavyweight championship. What are your thoughts on that? Like, I noticed a lot of people sort of have backlash because they're like, oh, who are these guys that are coming in and dominating the sport? Now we're not going to get fights locally. What are your thoughts?
I was actually having this conversation yesterday. Saudi is the one that's paying the guys the most, and then everybody in boxing, you want to be compensated for what you do, and they want to make the
Right.
biggest and the best fights happen, and they're the ones that got the money to make the fights that everybody would dream of seeing happen right now. So in a sense, for the fight fans, it's good because they're making the fights that people want to see happen, and for the fighters, it's good because they're being compensated. When it comes to filling up an arena and stadium, I don't think as much. I think that goes to like the UK. I think they have a lot of fight fans, and I think they fill it up to like 90,000 fans when it comes to big fights. But the US, we have the most world champions, the most known fighters, and the best fighters. So it's spread out
And
a little
yeah,
bit. It's a
no,
little
and you
spread
see it
out.
when those fighters come over, right? We were just talking about Callum Smith fighting Artur Beterbiev. We were talking about John Ryder fighting, Jaime Munguia recently. A lot of the fighters, when they come over to this side, they're not as successful. O'Hara Davies, who lost in the first round in your division now. A lot of these guys, they're comfortable at home, and then when they leave and they come over here, here, this is the world stage still in many ways, right?
I couldn't hear you. You was breaking up right now. I don't know. I turned off my Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah, no, I was talking about how a lot of the Brits, when they come over here, they don't seem to have the same success, right? You saw O'Hara Davies lost in the first round recently against Melbroso in your division. You saw Callum Smith losing to Artur Beterbiev, and then most recently you saw John Ryder losing to Jaime Munguia. So this, in many ways, this is still the proving ground and sort of the world stage, right? Because all of us here, for the most part, are from somewhere else anyway. So this is where a lot of the best talent comes.
Yeah. But the best of the best is here in America, and
Yeah,
like you just said, this is the proving ground. The proving stage is when you fight here in America on the big stage.
yeah. So
Yeah, you
as far
forgot
as
to mention Joshua, Ruiz when he came in,
yeah,
lost for the very first time, so
that was terrible.
which was a shock.
that, that
Yeah.
was his MSG debut and everything.
I turned down to go to that fight because I didn't think it was going to be competitive at all, and I regret it.
Oh man, that was an electric night, man.
Oh
Katie
my
Taylor was
God.
on.
I was sitting home like, I turned that down. Come on, man.
Yeah, yeah,
You can't turn opportunities down.
Oh, I'm telling
Gotta
you, I learned
go.
my lesson. Learned my
yeah,
lesson.
yeah. I'm trying to say yes to everything when it comes to boxing these days.
But
Just,
Jarrell Miller was
just
supposed
be
to
out
fight.
there.
That was a fight that I thought was going to
Terrell
be.
Miller, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
And then
That would have
that
been.
fight got scrapped. So I was like, I didn't think Ruiz was going to do what he did. But hey, I underestimated him just like Joshua probably did. So
Yeah.
So Jamaine, I know in Worcester they gave you a nice send off last week. What was that like? I know Jose Luis Rivera was there, another champion from Worcester. What was that like?
It was great. It was nice having the city, behind me, the city manager, the mayor, the DA, and they're gonna have a nice celebration for me when I come back as champ. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm hearing that there's some viewing parties being set up in Worcester, so that'll be cool.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So hopefully they'll get some cameras in there and people can see it. You can see them.
Yeah.
Look, Jamaine, I really appreciate your time. I know, we're only 9 days away from fight, so we're not going to keep you much longer. Frank, did you have any other questions?
Nah, just maybe what you know. I mean, I was gonna ask him what do we expect from him. February
Yep.
9th or whatever. Like, what are we gonna see from Jamaine Ortiz? That's pretty much it.
Yeah, y'all gonna see fireworks. It's gonna be the biggest upset of the year, and it's gonna be a big show, a great show. Fight that nobody wants to miss, and that everybody's gonna want to be there to witness.
Well, look, man, we're looking forward to it. And maybe the third time that you're on this show, you're actually you're coming in as world champion. And who knows, if you're in Worcester, maybe at some point we could do something local.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you guys for having me.
Sounds
Definitely.
good, brother. Good luck.
Thank you.
Shit,
Take
bye.
care.